Hey everyone, Adam Deal here with Proview Networks. Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of Proview Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean.
Here at the all-new Gala Chevrolet, our ultimate goal is to make life easier for you. That's why we built our new, ultra-modern facility from the ground up with the customer in mind. With 1,000 vehicles in stock, a great variety of pre-owned vehicles of every make and model, a clean, state-of-the-art service department focused on getting you back on the road as quickly as possible, and a sales team devoted to 100% customer satisfaction. All conveniently located in the heart of Albuquerque. We'll see you soon, right here at the all-new Gala Chevrolet.
When I train for American Ninja Warrior, I schedule regular workouts to stay in shape.
To keep my car in Ninja Tough shape, I head to a Napa Auto Care Center for regular maintenance and genuine Napa Auto parts.
Like brakes and batteries.
I trust my Napa Auto Care Center for quality parts and quality service.
And with the 24-month, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty, I drive away with peace of mind every time.
Visit AutoCareNM.com to find a location near you.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Legacy Boxing Promotions presents Route to Glory, March 17th at Route 66 Casino. 10 professional bouts, including Josh Pitbull Torres in the main event. Plus, in the co-feature, Jason Alacrancito Sanchez puts his undefeated record on the line. And making his professional debut, Aaron Angel Baby Perez. Get your great seats now at Route66Casino.com or HoldMyTicket.com. Route to Glory, March 17th at Route 66 Casino. Don't miss a punch.
Sports Desk is proudly presented by Car Crafters. It's like it never happened.
And welcome everybody here to another edition of the Sports Desk. I'm your host, Scott Coletti. Steve Davis will join us later on in the program. Ed Nunez will join us next week. He is out on assignment here this week. We bring in a very special guest. We are going to rewind last week, and what a week it was. Great games all the way around in the NMAA state tournament, both on the boys and the girls side. And we have a first here today, much like Steve Davis had on the Steve Davis Show. First time ever, we have Marty Zeller, the head coach at Las Lunas. And Marty, of course, coached his team to the 5A state championship last year, third overall title for you and your team. Congratulations, first off, and thanks for being here.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Well, let's talk a little bit. I heard some of the interview that you had with Steve Davis, and it was kind of interesting, some of the jargon that you were using on some of the certain teams. You've had the pleasure of coaching your daughter, who went on to University of Nevada. And, you know, just you've had outstanding teams with star quality, and you've had teams that were lunch pail type of teams. And I think this year's team kind of fell into that category. You had a couple of pretty good and really good players, but you didn't have that go-to person and worked as a team. Explain a little bit what your team did from day one to the championship, because Steve and I did a couple of your games at the tournament at Valencia this year, the Village of Los Lunas tournament, which you flip-flop host sites, and it was at Valencia this year, and we were very impressed from day one. First time we saw your team, and you got better and better as the year went on.
Well, this year's team, we had a very good summer, first of all. We had a tournament down at Eastern New Mexico University, and we played 3 very good quality Texas teams, and played Portales as well, who was a state champion here in New Mexico, and we went undefeated in that tournament. And from that point on, you know, the girls just realized what we've got going, that it's going to be a special year, and it certainly was.
So when you look at the championships, every other year it seems like you win a championship and you win with a different version of a team. So let's go back, kind of like you did in the Steve Davis show, and go back to those teams and what each one brought to the table.
Well, of course, you know, when I left Grants coaching boys basketball, I asked that administration and said, hey, I want to be able to coach my daughter. And, you know, they said that job's not open. And I said, well, I'll find one that is. And that's where Wilson Holland got involved, and the rest is history. You know, that I became the Los Lunas Lady Tiger coach and was able to coach my daughter for 2 years, Tage. And we had some pretty good success. We had the first year was 28-4, second year was 27-5, and you know, then the third year was everyone thought that, you know, once my daughter leaves, I'd be on suicide watch, and and actually it turned out to be the best season in Los Lunas High School.
That was one of the lines that got me when you were saying to Steve, because you said the exact same thing to Steve Davis, and it's like, wow, you know, because I still knew that you had good players on your team, but yeah, losing a talent like Tage, who, first off, let's talk a little bit about how she's doing.
You know, just her senior year at UNR in Reno.
Hard to believe it went that quick, huh?
Yeah, that's right. It seems like we just dropped her off the other day, and here we are, drive out there. For the first game of the state tournament, I was not at our game against Deming. I was out to see Tage at her senior night against San Diego State. And
so you did get to go to that?
Yes, sir.
That's good.
I was there, and
that's awesome.
She didn't score in the first quarter, kind of nerves and what have you. Dad and Mom in the stands, and but she got things together, ended up scoring 20 points, so it was a special night, and won the ball game. They were down 10, 16-6, and they won by almost 10. So great night. Great way to finish our career.
Now, in Tage's case, one of these days we have to somehow have her on the show if she ever gets back here to town. But, you know, one of the things about her, I mean, you hear about New Mexico kids going on to different places. Some succeed, some don't. I mean, she really blossomed at what is actually a very, very good school for women's hoops.
You know, it's in the Mountain West Conference, good conference in the Division I. And, yes, she did kind of blossom. Senior year came around, and she was like, man, I just got to get after it. So she really put a lot into her off-season training with the new coach, Amanda Levins. And she bought in. And you know, just like we tell everybody, every athlete, that hard work pays off. It certainly did for Tage.
Now, you also had Mr. Holland's daughter. She's an outstanding player as well. And, you know, this year you had Micah Jenrette and a bunch of other girls, and I say a bunch of other, not in a derogatory way, but, you know, like I said, this was you know, the way you played defense, the way you mixed and matched. Steve and I got a kick when we asked you at the Valencia tournament, well, you're substituting 2 in, 2 out, and you said, don't try to figure it out. Don't try to figure it out. It's going to change tomorrow. And he and I joked about that comment last week. But, you know, you have, what do you have on your team, 14 kids? You had 14 kids that are working so hard for the common goal. And on the high school level, you don't always see everybody buying in. How do you do it?
Well, at Los Lunas High School, they just buy in. You know, it just comes down to, like I said, the preseason training more than anything, the summers, and the work ethic. The work ethic, the culture that has been established at Las Lunas High School. These girls just, a lot of them will actually make the comment that I don't think any girls teams do what we do. Yeah, and that's
Most
neither
of
here
them
nor
might
there.
be right.
That's neither here nor there. I mean, I assume that they do. Put it that way. I assume they work just hard. Every one of them think they do. So, yeah, I mean, this crazy coach came in, and you know, from my first year, I only had a couple players in the preseason, and but those two players, Tanaya Murphy and Nikki Hathoot, you know, the sister of Jesse Hathoot, who's assistant coach at Las Lunas for the guys, those two bought in, and what amazing captains they were, along with Tage. And then Jordan and Sarah just loved everything we did. And so it's easy, you know, when you have the leaders buying in, the others just follow along suit.
And follow along indeed, because one of the things that was impressive for me is the turnovers, the defense, the swarming, the switching off, just knowing where to be at the right time. It seemed like your team was an absolute master at that.
Well, you mentioned turnovers.
Like you may differ, but it seemed from the outside looking in.
Sometimes we're the master of turnovers as well. So yes, we do create a lot of steals, a lot of turnovers, but it's what we do with it.
Right.
You know, the good games that we capitalize on and turn those steals into points and really capitalize on it, then you know we have really good results. The games that we just turn over a team and you know, force turnovers and then turn around and throw it right back to them. Those are just kind of sloppy games, but the tempo is definitely in our favor, and that's a big part of Las Lunas basketball, is getting opponents to play our tempo.
Marty Zeller, the head coach of Las Lunas High School's girls team, 5A state champions this year, is our guest here on the Sports Desk. Before we go to break here, Marty, explain a little bit to the viewers out there the makeup of this team. Who stood up? Who kind of blossomed at the year? Use that word, blossom again. Who kind of stepped up as the year progressed, and who kind of surprised you, if anybody?
From my players?
Mm-hmm. Because everybody contributed on this team. That, to me, on an outsider, that's what impresses me, because you had a couple of I like the phrase you had. You didn't have a go-to player, but you had like 7 of them.
I love it. I love that phrase. I mean, and it does. It really does sum up this year's team, this year's squad. You know, the makeup of this team, we have what's called the babies, and those 4 seniors. We actually had 5 seniors this year, but the 4 seniors have been with us from 8th grade. They've been in the program, and that was Amber Trujillo, Micah Jenrette, Ashley Blackwell, and Haley Torres. And then we have the transplant, Maya Trujillo, transferred in from Berlin, just like Bloomfield had their big girl, Alyssa Quintana, I think her name is, transfer from Dulce. So, you know, and Bloomfield had 9 seniors, we had 5 seniors. The makeup of the team, you know, like I said, is a team that just was selfless. They're just all so selfless. We overpass many times, not sometimes. We overpass and overpass and overpass, and that's where we run into a lot of turnovers, is overpassing. But you know, they're just so selfless. It's incredible.
Okay, let me interrupt you there real quick. Adding on that, how nice of a problem is that when you have players who are actually going the extra mile to make that extra pass, where I've been with coaches in my day that were just laying into someone for not making that pass.
Well, and it's a big part of the game, you know. You hear me constantly saying driving lane, passing lane, driving lane, passing lane. You got to read the game. You make the game very difficult for everyone around you if you have an open layup and all of a sudden you're going to pass off, you know, and when you shouldn't be passing off. So yeah, driving lane, passing lane is a big one for us, and especially as selfless as we are. But you know, then we just have to work on the physicality, matching the physicality. When we talk about driving lane, and in practice we do pad work, things like that. And, you know, where every team does that. But the makeup of this team, like I said, is from start to finish, you could just say they're so selfless. Each and every one of them, they just buy into their role, whatever that role is. And those roles can change every game, every single game. Like I said, we had 7 different players lead us in scoring throughout the season. We had 5 different players lead us in scoring throughout the district. Yeah, it was just an amazing group of girls. They're all just great leaders. We talk to every one of them. Well, it doesn't matter if they're a freshman. If they're on varsity and they're dressed out, expectations are a varsity player.
Right.
That's all.
Right.
You're a varsity player. You don't get a free pass and not be yelled at and the expectations not be there. Once we get a few games under our belts, you're a varsity player and that's it. And you're trying to become a leader.
We will come back with one more segment. Marty Zeller, the head coach of the Los Lunas Lady Tigers, the Class 5A champions here this year in the NMAA state playoffs. We'll come back with more in a moment on the Sports Desk.
So we have 9 players.
Round 3 on the way, I'll tell you what.
To Butterfield.
Their time on offense.
Evans attacking. Bravo scores again. So Evans, Ward goes in right into front.
Kenzie Gibson on the layup, no, too strong. The rebound, Lewis.
And one.
Gotta shoot. At the buzzer, Noah.
Deep 3 from Hereda's up, it's good.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since
Oop, Atwood. Oh! What a play! The long bomb. Oh! What a shot! Wow! Well, if you wanted a fun way to end the quarter, that's the way to do it right there.
Behind his back, extra pass to Mudd, put it down. And a timeout's going to be called. Look out, the high-flying crest of Cleveland with
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club or dreamstyleremodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
I want to congratulate our first customers at our brand new facility right here at Gala Chevrolet, the Jose's. And how was your experience?
It was awesome and great.
What'd you end up buying?
We bought a 2018 Chevy Silverado.
And how would you say the experience was overall?
I bought all my cars here at Gala Chevrolet, and we couldn't wait for the new facility open, and all the people really treated us well.
Well, on behalf of Gala Chevrolet, we say thank you, and we'll see you soon right here at Gala Chevrolet.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
And welcome back here on the Sports Desk. I'm Scott Galletti. We'll be joined by Steve Davis here momentarily. But right now, we have one more segment with a championship head coach from this season, the 2018 year. That's Marty Zeller. Marty's team, the Los Lunas Lady Tigers, won their 3rd overall championship. 3-2, I guess, is a pretty good record in state, but I'm sure you would like to be 5-0, right?
So why do you say 3-2?
I don't know, because I still think just getting to the state championship is a major feat. You've been at it a lot in your coaching career at Los Lunas.
It is. It's getting to the championship game. It's amazing. It's a goal that everyone should have, and of course, the goal of winning the championship is the ultimate prize. And it takes everything. It takes the preparation. It takes God helping keep everyone healthy.
Right. Right.
It takes great attitudes, the chemistry, the teamwork. Just everyone has to be healthy. I know a year that I thought Goddard should have won a championship. The guys, I'm speaking of the guys now, and one of the players woke up with food poisoning, and the Espanola. They actually blamed the Espanola fans, saying somebody came in the hotel. You just got to keep players healthy, and,
right?
Be it injury-free or sickness, attitude, whatever it is. You just never know what's going to happen when you get to the big stage, and going from the first game of when you have a home game to playing in the pit. You never know what's on the players' minds. I'm on the big stage now, and things can happen. So everything's got to be going your way.
Well, that's one of the
things. Championship.
And that's one of the things, Coach Zeller. And we're talking with Marty Zeller, the head coach at Los Lunas for the girls basketball team, who just over the weekend won the 5A state championship. My radio partner on ESPN Radio 101.7 The Team, Brian O'Neill, he talks about the different roads to the championship. We talked about this during the state title over the air, and he had his thoughts on what it takes to get there. And one of the things, like you just said, you get on the big stage, you don't know what the thought process of the team's going to be. Also, you get on the big stage, even in the first round, you're pitted against a team that, they might be a 16 seed, you might be a 1. And then that 16 seed says, hey, we could beat them. And they're playing the game of their lives because they're trying to beat the top dog.
Sure. I mean, it happens. I remember when I was coaching at Grants, coaching the boys, the Gallup, I think, was the number 1 seed, and they were playing a 16 seed. And they actually had to take a charge when their opponent had the ball out of bounds. So they had to take a charge under 4 seconds on the clock or something. And they took a charge before the ball was passed in bounds, which turned the game around and allowed Gallup to win. And that was a 1 versus 16. And so, yes, it does happen for sure.
Your team 29-2 on the year, number 1 seed, and you defeated Deming 71-27. Quarterfinals, you beat Alamogordo at the pit 51-32. Then Kirtland Central 57-34. That game was closer than the score indicated, especially in the early going.
It was. As the game goes on, we take a look at what we need to do defensively. Mm-hmm. We make the adjustments that we need to make, and the adjustments that we made seem to have worked, that's for sure, going as the game progressed.
And in the finals, beating Bloomfield 48-43. And you talk about a Bloomfield team that you were very, very familiar with, especially this year.
We were familiar with them. We played them at their place early in November or December, early in December. We won 54-40. We played them at the holiday tournament in Los Lunas at the Valencia High School. And everything just went our way, and nothing could go right for Bloomfield. So it was a lopsided championship game. But speaking with Tom Adair, he said that that game, when we pounded them, they had a meeting and turned things around for them. Mm-hmm. And yes, we were familiar with them. But I told them last summer, I said, we were expected to be there because I have 12 of 13 players returning, I told Tom, I said, it's going to be a Los Lunas and Bloomfield final. And I told him that in the summer. And then I reminded him when we played them at Bloomfield that it's going to be Los Lunas and Bloomfield in the final. And I told him again at the holiday tournament, it's going to be Los Lunas and Bloomfield in the final. Then the Hope tournament, they beat us. After we beat them badly, we had some internal issues, but yeah, we got that straightened out, and that was our only hiccup throughout the year. Otherwise, we won 14 in a row and then 15 in a row. Mm-hmm. So not a bad season, not a bad season.
And you talk about Coach Adair, who, by the way, to me has been the nicest guy on earth, as have you been. So, I mean, yes. A couple of class acts in you and Coach Adair, going head-to-head. But it goes back to my point in the first segment. And you can tell I'm a big fan of yours and what you do with your team just by how I'm ranting and raving on this, because you said, and it's confidence with you as a head coach, where you may not openly say it in a meeting and everything, it's going to be us two playing. How do you go into your team's practices and everything to kind of calm it down with the team and say, okay, we got to work hard, otherwise we're not going to make it there?
Well,
because that's the thing that amazes you, amazes me, is the fact that, everyone thought that it was going to be you making it to the finals, but you have to get there, which means things need to go right. The players have to not be complacent, and that's what amazes me. Not only do they not get complacent, they go the extra mile to make sure that they're not, in my opinion.
I agree. I mean, we set goals every quarter, not just every game. So regardless of the opponent, we have our own goals. And if we don't meet those goals, there's consequences. At practice, there's consequences, before practice. So we set goals depending on our opponent. We don't just say, hey, that we're playing Deming, they're a 16 seed, and we need to win the ball game. I told the girls, I was up at Reno, and I told the girls if we didn't win by 30, these were the consequences. Mm-hmm. So we have goals set to where, it's not just about winning the ball game.
3 championships for you and your teams. Any one of those harder than the other, or is the journey kind of the same?
Well, as far as the championship itself, our first year, it was, a lopsided victory. Probably one of the most lopsided victories in any championship. It was 51-27 against Roswell. That was not a good finish. The coaches didn't shake hands with us. They thought I'd called a timeout intentionally to rub it in or something, which I would never do. But, they're all special. There's no doubt about it. They're all special. That one was with Tage, then the second championship with
Gallup in a packed pit.
Yeah, anytime you play Gallup, packed pit, be it Espanola or Gallup, I mean, it's exciting. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's what you live for, huh? You gotta just love those moments, and we do. I do, and Los Lunas Lady Tiger basketball program loves it for sure. And then this year's team, I've just had these girls. They're just so selfless. Bottom line, just having selfless girls, and just having girls like that, you just know that they deserve all the work that they put in, and the selflessness and the love for each other. It was special. It was special. It was a special group of girls, and it was just amazing run.
What do you do now for an encore? Moving ahead with your team, what do you need to do to keep this engine revved up?
Well, it's what we do, and we are going to rebuild and reload. And our freshman group that we have in place, we have 4 freshmen that are just, I think, dynamite. Obviously they had a lot of talent in front of them, and all 4 of them didn't get a lot of playing time. Didn't get much at all, actually, on the varsity level. But at JV-wise, they lost 1 game, so they're used to winning. Bottom line, they're used to winning, and they expect to move right in and take over and do the same thing that we've been doing. And what we do is win.
What is the biggest secret to just getting the girls to come out and play and be ready to play? Because with the freshmen, the JV, and everything else, it seems like there's a nice little program there. But at the same time, you're in a small town, so there's challenges there also.
I think the greatest challenges is just establishing your culture, the culture of having the work ethic that you want. Because if you do that, the results, winning takes care of itself.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to establish that work ethic, and that's what all coaches try to do. It just seems to be working.
I got to ask you this, Coach. What do you tell your team after they win the other day? After the long journey, the hard practices that you put them through, and all the consequences, if there are any, like you say, then all of a sudden you win the championship. You have to have the same speech if you were to lose the game. But what do you tell the girls after it's all said and done?
Well, it's funny that you said that because Ann Salazar, my longest assistant that I've had, she's been there from day one for me. So she's been there 6 years. And after the championship game, when it was her turn to speak, she got up there and she just kind of smiled and smirked and said, "That was ugly. That was ugly." So, even though you won the whole thing, it's like she wants to get up there and say, "Hey, this is what we do.
Right.
We win, but we're going to get up here and tell you exactly what we need to hear.
Right.
We need to hear what we need to work on." And I mean, the season was over, but she had to say the little things of what we need to work on. She's still thinking about, hey, we're going to tell you what we need to work on.
Well, that's a coach's mentality.
That's right,
but
that's
I mean,
right.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
And I guess with these girls, they'll understand because perhaps, correct me if I'm wrong, this might have been the overall, being not having a superstar player might have been one of the tougher years that you've had to mold a championship team.
Well, it wasn't tough in the sense of putting them together, but yes, not having a go-to player that's going to step up when everyone else folds on the big stage.
Right.
Sure, you're wondering, hey, who is going to be that go-to player? But fortunate enough, we had the seniors. All the seniors really stepped up and just did what they had to do, regardless of whether they scored baskets or not.
Right.
They stepped up.
And that's a cool thing because we talked about this off the air. Just a couple more questions for you, Coach. Is you had girls that one day might go scoreless and next day might have 15 points, and it was that kind of season for 7 or 8 different girls.
That was incredible. I mean, Amber Trujillo in the Valley game scored 25 points, and the next game, I can't recall who it was. Let's say it was Kirtland Central, scored 0. I mean, it was incredible. And
but somebody else stepped up that game.
Right. And then one game, Haley Torres would have 4 points, and next game she hits 7 3-pointers, and 21 points. And that happened while I was gone in Reno to see my daughter Tasia on their senior night. But I said, hey, maybe they're better off when I stay away. So if I stay away, maybe we'll get more 3-pointers.
There you look at some of the highlights there on the screen of the Bloomfield game. And, this was just, as a coach, you might say ugly, but this was a knockdown, drag-out rivalry game from the viewers'
Bloomfield
viewpoint.
Played a great game. They hit threes when they needed to hit threes. They hit some baseline jumpers when they needed to. And, when we had our backs against the wall, our players stepped up as well and hit the big threes, hit the 3-point play, timely offensive rebounds. They just did what they needed to do.
Finally, I got to ask you this, and I don't know if you've been asked this a lot. How long do you plan on doing this? And how fun is it to still do this, win, lose, or draw for you as a head coach?
Well, I tell my family, my kids in my family, find a job you love and you don't have to work a day in your life. And I tell my student athletes the same. Find a job you love and you don't have to work a day in your life. So, it's just the passion. I'm able to do a couple of things that I love, and that's basketball and golf at Las Tunas High School. I'm the golf coach as well, and I love what I do. And, it just shows.
You've got to be the tallest golf coach in the state, right?
Pretty close.
Please tell me yes.
Pretty close.
You got to be.
Pretty close. We have fun, whatever we're doing.
Right.
And we actually have a chance to try and bring home a trophy. The blue trophy is what our goal is there on the golf. So that would be pretty special.
Yeah, that would be cool to be a dual sport champion as a coach, and obviously student athletes helping you out. And how much different is it with those two different sports? Obviously,
Very, very different. You know, you go from Marty Zeller, the intense basketball coach, to Marty Zeller, where he needs to be on the golf course after a basketball season and relaxing, but it's a whole different mindset. And the mindset for golf, yeah, you got to love it, but you got to come ready every day,
right,
with the right mindset.
And finally, Coach, I could talk to you for an hour on this because I keep thinking of questions. In terms of coaching on the basketball, how do you look so calm all the time? And to me, you're not the biggest screamer as a coach, but I know that you get the point across to your kids one way or another. I mean, I like to talk to you about, being the guy standing, looking and posing on the sideline with the arms crossed and everything. I mean, if I were a player, I'd be scared to, dribble the wrong way, to get yelled at. But it seems like your demeanor is just like it is right now, like nice and calm. How do you stay that way on the court?
Well, I didn't stay that way in the first quarter of the Bloomfield championship game. I can guarantee you that.
Okay, that's one instance, and it's a championship. But I mean, still, 9 times out of 10, you're a calm, collected guy.
Right.
We could tell if you maybe take the coat off or whatever on a game or something. Oh, he's mad, but you don't. Right. Open. There's coaches that hop all over the place. When I was at UNM, Steve Alford used to jump up and down. You knew when he was mad, but to me, it's like you seem calm, but I know you're not calm.
Well, number one, I'm fortunate to have a great coaching staff that keeps me in check and helps prepare. Two, I'm fortunate enough to have the talent around me that we've established there, and the work ethic that we've established at Los Lunas High School. And those kind of things, when you establish that work ethic, and the winning ways just kind of seem to be coming your way.
Right.
Because of what you have established, the culture that you've created. And once you create that culture, it takes care of every day at practice. Every day. You just know the players are going to come. And if they're not, of course, you're going to have consequences for them. So discipline is a powerful thing, but it's a focus of attention, the attention and the concentration more than anything.
Well, Coach, I want to thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thanks for being a class act. When we deal with you, you make our job easier.
Well, thank you.
So,
I just want to say all the best to my babies, all the seniors with Los Lunas Lady Tiger and the team. Thank you very much for this amazing season. It's all about the journey, ladies.
Marty Zeller, the head coach of the Los Lunas girls basketball team, 5A state champions here in 2018. We'll take a break and come back with more on the Sports Desk.
The Barley Room, a proud sponsor of Proview Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
Locally loved restaurants like Farina Pizzeria, Farina Alto, and the Artichoke Cafe are the perfect venue for your next event. Farina Alto has traditional Italian food plus handcrafted cocktails in a beautiful Northeast Heights location. Farina Pizzeria with a downtown vibe, amazing affordable wines, and local beer. And the Artichoke Cafe has set the standard for casual fine dining since 1989. Visit our family of restaurants and see what fine dining is all about.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, #life change will occur.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at Proview Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Terry Cosper Insurance Agency is a proud partner with Proview Networks and a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics. Terry's been a local farmer's agent for over 20 years for auto, home, life, and business insurance. Just like high school sports are important, so are teen drivers. For more information, call Terry or one of his licensed staff members at 898-5556. Quotes are available for you.
Legacy Boxing Promotions presents Route to Glory, March 17th at Route 66 Casino. 10 professional bouts, including Josh Pitbull Torres in the main event. Plus, in the co-feature, Jason Alacrancito Sanchez puts his undefeated record on the line. And making his professional debut, Aaron Angel Baby Perez. Get your great seats now at Route66Casino.com or HoldMyTicket.com. Route to Glory, March 17th at Route 66 Casino. Don't miss a punch.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales. The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Carmody Medical provides solutions for your everyday needs. Hot and cold compression wraps provide therapeutic compression for the shoulder, hip, and knee. The therapy wraps are constructed of an insulated outer fabric and a ventilated cotton pocket to protect the body. Elastic belts allow mobility and deliver a gentle, adjustable compression. The reusable therapy packs can be removed from the pouch and placed into the freezer. Contact Jim for more information.
Here at the all-new Gala Chevrolet, our ultimate goal is to make life easier for you. That's why we built our new ultra-modern facility from the ground up with the customer in mind. With 1,000 vehicles in stock, a great variety of pre-owned vehicles of every make and model, a clean, state-of-the-art service department focused on getting you back on the road as quickly as possible, and a sales team devoted to 100% customer satisfaction. All conveniently located in the heart of Albuquerque. We'll see you soon, right here at the all-new Gala Chevrolet.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at Proview Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Gecko's Bar and Tapas, a proud supporter of Proview Networks. It's been a fan favorite spot for food lovers and sports fans. With not one, but two great locations, including outdoor patio, an atmosphere you won't want to miss. Gecko's, off Academy and in Nob Hill. Hey, New Mexico, come check out the newly remodeled guest rooms at the new Wyndham Albuquerque Hotel and Conference Center, featuring 309 rooms, 30,000 square feet of meeting space. New Mexico's only indoor water park featuring the Wave Runner. 2,200 square foot fitness center with hydro massage chairs. Also enjoy breakfast at our new Manzanita Grill and watch your favorite team play at Altitude Sports Bar and Grill. It's all at Wyndham Albuquerque Hotel and Conference Center. Ladera Golf Course. Opened in 1980, Ladera features a full 18 including spacious greens, a large driving range, roomy practice putting greens, and 4 large lakes. Surrounding Ladera, beautiful views of the Sandia Mountains to the east and volcanoes to the west. Ladera is a challenging city-owned course with the longest playing yardage of any other city courses. For weekend tee times and more information, call 505-836-4449. Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewNetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
And we're back here on the Sports Desk. I'm Scott Galletti. Special thanks to Marty Zeller, the head coach at Los Lunas High School for the girls 5A championship team. Our guest, we bring in Steve Davis. And Steve, how you even standing or sitting up today after a busy week last week?
You know what? It's just like you are. Just, just like Coach Zeller is. It's,
right. I mean, quite a week. It bears mentioning because you mentioned this off the air last week, and you're very proud of this. Producing how many games last week?
We did 84 games.
84 games.
5 venues. We had a remarkable week. We went down for 1 minute at the Santa Ana Star for 1 minute, and then in the championship game, we had some deals, but our announcers, Adam and everybody stepped up, and Tom stepped up, and the video didn't go down. So you think about our equipment running 12 hours a day at 5 different venues. Great week. And there's a lot of success to that with all the people that worked it. Josh Brown and Alden Aliani. I always mess his name up, and he'd probably butcher me up on that. But that part of it, and Jason, and then Andreas, and I'm probably missing a few other people, and all the camera guys. We didn't have anybody. Our biggest deal is if we could just keep the announcers out of the damn hospitality room, we'd be great. So.
Well, let's look over what happened last week. We just got done talking with Coach Zeller, and we had the Los Lunas Bloomfield game, 48-43. Los Lunas, the number 1 seed, defeating Bloomfield, and quite a game.
Yes, I think every game was. You think about this trial. Let's just step back a little bit. Let's just recap the whole tournament. It was unbelievable, the games and the parity and the whole thing with all week on the girls and boys side. I mean, it was the semifinals that day at the Dreamstyle Arena of the Pit was.
It was off the charts.
It was off the charts, and you can go back. I don't know. I've been doing this for 10 years, and for the last 10 years, I don't know that we had a semifinals. And then quarterfinals, semifinals, and also finals. That one night, it was like, if I'm correct, it was double overtime, last second shot.
Right.
And then also the Blinn game, Los Lunas game was a 3 or 4 point game, and then went down to the last few minutes of that game. So you had back-to-back games, and it just kept if you're a basketball junkie, it was great. So.
And the girls' games before that were good. So it was just an overall great day. Semifinals day, as was the finals day.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Brian O'Neill, who you had on last week on the Steve Davis show, he said this might be the closest, championship go-round boys and girls at the Pit that he has seen in quite some time. And you and Brian go back in this state in terms of being involved in high school basketball for a long time.
Right, and then yes, you think about it. I thoroughly, it was like, we were there, basically 7:30, 7:15 to 11 o'clock every day, and I can't really think that there's only a few games that were not, competitive, but it was very.
And even the ones that on paper weren't competitive score-wise were until maybe the third or fourth quarter.
And that's a great point. Some of the games that ended up to being a 10 or 12 point game, if you really break that game down, the game's down. If you look at the last.
Like I look at West Mesa Valley, for example. That was close in the first half, and it was a pull away in the second half.
No, that's exactly right. There was nothing. Most of the games were really, were determined in the last 4 minutes of the game. I mean, the Pecos game, you look at that game, it's a 16-point game, but it was a 3-point game at the 4-minute mark.
Right. And then you got the 6A Girls Championship, and what can you say? Number 1 Cibola, number 2 Hobbs. What a game this turned out to be. It looked like Cibola was going to pull away eventually and win. Hobbs ends up getting a last-second free throw, 2 free throws, and I need to make mention, they were not very good at the foul line up until they started hitting about, I believe it was 7 or 8 straight, which helped turn the tide of the game. They tie the game, they go to overtime, they end up winning 64-55.
Well, this game here was probably, a highlighted game of the girls' game. Besides I got Marty Zeller, so I better make sure that we say, the Las Lunas and Bloomfield, but you had 1 and 2. Okay, besides Coach Zeller's number 1, everybody else didn't make. It was the lower seeds that basically won this state tournament, which just shows you again the parity of all the classes and all the great coaches we have in the state of New Mexico.
Let's move on now to boys here as we will go to the 2A championship. Manal had this game for a while against Fort Sumner House, but Fort Sumner House would pull away and win in a narrow escape, 56-53. Again, a very, very close-knit game and a very exciting game.
Well, yes, you were. This game here was a tale of 2 sides. I mean, it seemed like Manal, and this one I didn't get to watch all the way through. I was doing other things, But I looked up at the score. I really thought Manal had won this game, and then I go back and watch the last 2 minutes of the game, and next thing you know, Fort Sumner comes through and takes the lead and finishes it off.
The only blowout, if you will, of the boys tournament happened in 4A, and it was a surprising one, and another lower seed. And we could go round and round on how did Hope Christian get to be a number 3 seed, but it was number 1 against number 3. Bernalillo ends up losing that game 81-52, and this was a game that Hope Christian played like the underdog because they didn't play like a team that expected to win. They played like a team that went out and fought their way to a victory, and they ended up just being way, way too much.
Well, everybody said that Coach Murphy was having a down year, but you look to his losses through the year, they were all 6A teams.
Except for St. Pius in a very, very close game that St. Pius upset them. It was they played top-notch competition, including St. Pius.
And when they got into the tournament, and for them to be an underdog, it was, and I think, Coach Darnell, hey, first of all, congratulate him. What a great year.
What a great year.
He
had a very good team. So
he just came up a team that, they had their scare. Hope had their scare the day before.
Right.
Silva gave them everything that they wanted, and then
that was 63-50. That was their closest game.
No, it was tied up at half. I just remember going down, and I actually talked. I gave Coach Murphy a hard time. I was down there, and I go, what are you worried about, man? You're tied. It's not the end of the world. Why don't you go win the second half? And I got him laughing, and we'll probably have him on my show, and we'll have him on next week or so. I got to call him, but it was just a, that team. Everybody said was under. I tell you, I watched this team, and they got some players, and they just took them a while. You remember last year they had graduated so many players, and it takes a while for a team for the competition he plays during the regular season, and he gelled at the right time.
We talked about the Class Acts, the 4A girls coaches. How about Terry Darnell and Coach Murphy? I mean, two of the Class Acts in this area, and it was kind of funny. Before the game, I was joking with Coach Darnell. He had a little raspy voice, and I said, "You sound like a coach that's just coached your team to the championship." He says, "Yeah, I'm starting to sound like Coach Murphy." And then it got into which one had the raspier voice and that kind of thing. They were both loose going into the game, so just dealing with those guys is a treat.
Well, I think Coach Darnell's, he's he's been there before, and I think really it was the year that everybody thought this was the year that Hope could be dethroned. I mean, and you look at it, and it gave excitement. Here's Bernalillo, coming in and the crowd. You think about the crowd was a dominating Bernalillo crowd, and for Coach Murphy's team to step up and do what and how they did it is really, it doesn't really talk about the greatness that Bernalillo had this year, and also Hope. Hope just shows you that things are going to be changing, and I think Adam Deal said it best when he interviewed him at the end of the game. He goes, well, guess what? There's a lot of people who are happy that you're not going to be in their division next year, and it's going to open up that division. So
right,
because they're going to move up with class.
Yep, and they're still going to be tough. We will take one more break, come back with one more segment here on the Sports Desk.
Hey everyone, Adam Deal here with Proview Networks. Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of Proview Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean.
When I train for American Ninja Warrior, I schedule regular workouts to stay in shape. To keep my car in Ninja Tough shape, I head to a Napa Auto Care Center for regular maintenance and genuine Napa Auto parts. Like brakes and batteries. I trust my Napa Auto Care Center for quality parts and quality service. And with the 24-month, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty, I drive away with peace of mind every time. Visit AutoCareNM.com to find a location near you.
Going down there. And we are back here on the Sports Desk. I'm Scott Galletti, along with Steve Davis. Once again, thanks to Marty Zeller, the head coach of the Las Lunas Lady Tigers, 5A champs. We have a little bit of time here, Steve, to roll down the 5 and 6A boys. And what a championship it was. Again, a 3 seed beating a 1 seed. It was Belen over a very, very, and I mean very good Espanola Valley team. That proves how good Belen was. And Belen had to get by Las Lunas to get there.
Well, I tell you, Belen's one of those teams that, I wish Coach Zeller was, because he watched Belen. We did the Las Lunas Belen game, and if you would have told me they're going to win the state championship at that first game that they played at Las Lunas that we put on Me TV statewide, I would have said this is not going to happen. And what a great job, and Coach Dunnell did with his team and made them believe. And then they beat Las Lunas at Las Lunas in the district tournament. And then it was a team, and I had Richard Tripp on the thing, and when we talked about momentum and confidence, and it was a team that Espanola didn't put them away, okay? Right. And they just you could just see the momentum going, and all of a sudden these guys said, hey, we can win this, we can get this, we can beat this team that's only lost one ball game to Rio Rancho, and that's what happened.
That's a very good point. And that Belen Las Lunas game, very close
job for Coach
50 to 41.
Coach Branch, yeah. They expect him. What a job! First year in, and he gets to the state tournament. That's hard to do.
Yeah, he had a very gritty bunch who, they were like racehorses, just running up and down. We have less than a minute. Very quickly, Cleveland over Trisco Heritage over Cleveland, 53 to 49. Hard to be quick on this, but it was a big victory for Trisco Heritage and the first title.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ortega, Adrian, you look at his coaching history and what he's been through, he deserves it. I mean, and that was, he, things didn't work out with him in Sandia. He goes down to Oñate, and the next year Oñate wins the state championship with his team. And when he came back to Trisco, he built this program. And it's also the father-son relationship that he gets. He wins the championship with his son, and that's a hard thing to do, to coach your son and then also win.
Well, Steve, it's been fun having you back here.
Well, that was great. I just that went quick.
Do it again next week. Well, yeah, Alden tells us we're out of time, so we are out of time. Our director, Alden Iawani, thanks to him. Thanks to Coach Marty Zeller, and thanks to Steve Davis. Until next week, I'm Scott Coletti here on the Sports Desk.